Hello and welcome to A Mindful Moment. I'm Justin Epstein, author of the top-selling book Super You and minister of the Unity Center of New York City. Welcome to A Mindful Moment. I'd like to read from Eckhart Tolle's book. On page 18, the category is Enlightenment, Rising Above Thought. Someone asked the question, isn't thinking essential in order to survive in this world? Tolle says, your mind is an instrument, a tool. It is there to be used for a specific task, and when the task is completed, you lay it down. I think that's a very important statement. So many people tend to identify with their mind. I am my mind, I am my thinking. And the thinking is constantly going and going and going. And he's saying, no, you are consciousness. The you that looks through those eyes, the you that is in that body, you are not your mind, you are consciousness. You can use your mind. It's an instrument, and that's what it's meant to be an instrument. So you use your mind. And when you use it to solve a problem, to whatever it might be, then you can lay the instrument down and go back into being in the moment, being in presence, being in the now. And I think that's a good way to look at it. I know that on the golf course, for instance, when I'm playing in tournaments, I go out with a special intention to hit the shot, whatever the shot is, and learn from it, not judge it good or bad, but no matter what it is, if I like the shot, to feel the joy, the pleasure. If it's not what I wanted to do, to learn from it, and if there's some frustration, fine, then as soon as it's done, it's done. Just let that energy flow through me, using the mind as an instrument, not identifying with it. I know Michael Singer, who's the author of The Untethered Soul, another terrific book. He talks about we're meant to just experience the moment, let whatever the external experiences touch us, move through our mind, our senses, and then flow right out, and then we go into the next moment. We're not meant to carry whatever happens in that moment into the next moment. That's what we're meant to do. Of course, we're growing, so that's the ideal. That gives us something to move in the direction of. And so Tolle is saying, all right, use your mind as an instrument, and then when you're done, lay it down. And to me, that's similar to what Singer is saying. All right, let's go on. He says, as it is, I would say about 80 to 90% of most people's thinking is not only repetitive and useless. Wow. 90% for thinking, repetitive and useless. But because of its dysfunctional, and often negative nature, much of it is also harmful. So not only is it repetitive and useless, doesn't do us much good, so why spend so much time thinking, living in the mind, instead of being in the present moment and experience the joy of being, the peace of being. We're caught up in that mind, but it's also harmful. I remember Julia Cameron, the author of The Artist's Way. She said she teaches people to spend the first 30 minutes of the day writing. And of course, that's great practice for writers or people who want to be writers. Just write every day. Don't just put your pen to the paper or hands to the keyboard and just write. She says she started that because she's often negative first thing in the morning. That helps to clear her mind. So there's the mind, and there's a lot of negativity in the world. And so It makes sense that the mind can, if you're not watchful, can trend in a negative direction. He says, observe your mind, and you will find this to be true. So in other words, don't take his word for it. Observe your mind. That's how we learn and grow, not by taking someone else's word for it, but from our own experience. It causes a serious leakage of vital energy. So constantly living in the mind, letting it be useless, repetitive, and even negative, leaks vital energy. So when you and I observe the mind, disidentify with the mind, use the mind as an instrument, and spend the rest of our time in presence, then we don't leak vital energy. But if we are caught in the mind, we're leaking vital energy. So if you and I observe the mind, live in presence, we have more energy, we have more vitality, we have greater well-being, we probably look younger, we probably have more energy for thinking when we do use it as an instrument. We have more energy for the rest of our life because we're not leaking that energy. So that's quite a bit right there, right? So let's observe our thinking. Let's continue to observe our thinking. Notice if it's repetitive, dysfunctional, and so on. But don't get caught up in it. Just watch it. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again next time for another mindful moment.
Thank you for joining me for a mindful moment. Remember to subscribe to my channel for more mindful moments as they go live. Click above for a list of previous mindful moments to enjoy on your own time, anytime.